Ombre is a technique where a colour moves from darker at the roots to lighter towards the ends with a sweeping motion. For best results, use 3 colours with varying depth and tones. The hair is sectioned into 4 parts for this technique. A profile parting is taken from the centre of the forehead to the centre of the nape. A radial parting is taken from the top of the crown to the top of the ear. Application for ombre. The back right-hand side section is the first to be coloured. Starting with the darkest of the 3 colours, apply the product to the radial and profile partings first, then the perimeter hairline of this section. Make sure the application is irregular to eliminate any hard lines in the final result. From the nape, take a slice using a horizontal parting. The product is irregularly applied to the upper root area, then work to the lower root. Comb the product through, as this will help to distribute the product down the hair, ensuring no hard lines are created. Above this section, using a horizontal parting, another section is created. This section is coloured in the same method of applying colour to the upper root area and then to the lower root area. The hair is combed through to eliminate any hard lines in application. Continue with this method and application to the radial parting until the section is complete. This application is then repeated on the opposite side. How far the product is extended out from the roots will depend on the style and length of the haircut. Ideally, it should be around 1/3 of the length of the hair. The same method and application is then worked into the 2 front sections. Apply product delicately around the hairline to avoid unwanted staining. The tail comb and tint brush are held together in the same hand for speed and cleanliness of the application. plastic tail comb is used for client comfort. The rounded plastic edge of the tail comb moves smoothly over the scalp. Starting on the right-hand side back section at the nape, take a medium-sized slice using a horizontal parting. Place a mesh on the underside of the slice. This will support the extension of the product down the hair and avoid unwanted stains or blemishes on the skin. Extending the roots out with an irregular application will help with the softness and blend of colour for the final result. With an irregular application, apply the medium colour to the mid-lengths from where the root application ends. By tilting the brush on an angle, both the root colour and the mid-length colour are blushed together to ensure there are no hard lines in the end result. Final colour is the lightest and is applied to the remaining lengths and ends of the hair. It is blushed up towards the medium colour for a soft blend. Isolate this section with a clear mesh. A parallel horizontal parting is used to create another slice directly above the previous. Using the same method, stretch the root application down approximately a third of the length of the hair, then apply the medium colour to the mid-lengths from where the root application ends. By tilting the brush on an angle, both the root colour and the medium mid-length colour are blushed together to ensure there are no hard lines for the end result. Again, ensure the product is applied with an irregular application to ensure no hard lines are created for the end result. Isolate this section with a clear mesh. Once again, the lightest colour is applied to the remaining lengths and ends of the hair. Apply a generous amount of product to the ends and then work up with the product towards the mid-length application. Where the mid-length colour ends, tilt the brush on an angle and blush the two colours together so there are no hard lines in the end result. Isolate this section with a clear mesh. On the left-hand side section, repeat application starting at the nape area. In a clockwise direction, apply with the same method into the front right-hand section. Working from the hairline with a horizontal parting, create a slice. To increase the length of the mesh, place a little bit of product down one side of the mesh and place another to join. the root application out along the hair. Apply the medium colour to the mid-lengths and blushing out to the lighter colour onto the ends with an irregular application. Continue taking parallel horizontal partings and with the same method of application, repeat up towards the profile parting until the section is complete. Through the front area, it is important to visually check where the application of the colour will sit when the technique is complete. Adjusting the application in this area can either illuminate higher around the hairline or applying into the lower lengths will keep a darker frame around the face. The same method and application is worked onto the opposite side. Blushing allows the fusion of two colours. To the eye, there is a gentle transition from darker to lighter. Ombre is a technique where a colour moves from darker at the roots to lighter towards the ends with a sweeping motion. For best results, use 3 colours with varying depth and tones. Colour is then developed, removed and toned according to the manufacturer's guidelines. Balayage is a freehand painting technique created to give the hair a natural illuminated effect throughout the haircut. profile parting is taken from the centre of the forehead to the centre of the nape. A radial parting is taken from the top of the crown to the top of the ear. Take a horizontal parting approximately 2 to 3 centimetres deep from behind the radial and from lower ear to lower ear. The size of the section will depend on the density of the hair and the way the hairline grows. From the parting, take a small triangle with a point towards the nape. Load the colour board up with product. This is done for ease of application when working the technique. Dip the end of the tint brush into the product on the colour board. 3/4 down the length of the hair, apply a generous amount of the product. From there, tilt the brush on a vertical angle and gently brush the product towards the roots along one side of the hair length on either side of the triangle. Take more product from the colour board. Apply the product down the remaining length of the hair. Directly next to this section, take another small triangle. This will be around the centre of the nape. Work with the same method of application by applying a generous amount of the product to the mid-length of the hair, and then work the product up towards the roots on both sides of the triangle. The technique of balayage incorporates surface colouring. The last section is worked on the opposite side. Take a small triangle, apply the product to the mid-lengths first, and then to both sides of the triangle lay the hair over the colour board, applying product to mid-lengths and ends. Take a diagonal parting from the radial back to the horizontal parting. This is approximately 2 centimetres deep. Again, triangles are taken in this area with the wide end towards the hairline. Elevate the triangular section back. Apply the product to mid-lengths first, then work the product either side of the triangle towards the roots. Take more product from the colour board and apply the product down the remaining length of the hair. Take another triangle directly above the previous and repeat the application of colour by elevating the triangle section back. Apply the product to mid-lengths first, then work the product either side of the triangle towards the roots and down to mid-lengths and ends. Repeat this application on the opposite side. Going back to the internal area, take a horizontal parting around the occipital bone. The same method is used by taking small triangles in this section and applying product to mid-lengths. Brush towards roots on either side of the triangle and then take product onto mid-lengths and ends. Continue this method and application up to the lower crown area. always maintain strong tension. This will allow the application of the product to glide along the length of the hair. In the crown area, smaller triangles are taken. The same method of application is used, only this time it is applied to only one side of the triangle, creating a softer illumination of colour through the crown area. This application is repeated to the top of the crown. When applying product up to the root area, ensure minimal product is on the end of the tint brush. In the top, subdivide the front parting area by taking a diagonal parting section approximately 2 cm deep in the profile parting. This will be repeated on the opposite side later to create a small triangle. On the side section towards the front hairline, a diagonal parting is taken. Above the ear, take a small triangle with the wide ends towards the hairline. Elevate the triangle back away from the face and apply a generous amount of the product to the mid-length of the hair. Then, work the product up towards the roots on both sides of the triangle. Directly in front of this, take another triangular section, this time incorporating the hairline. Use the same method of application with the product being brushed on either side of the triangle and into the hairline. Repeat this method of sectioning and application up to the high recession area. above the recession and to the profile parting, smaller triangles are taken. The same method of application that was worked in the crown is used applying to only one side of the triangle, creating a softer illumination of colour through the top. This sectioning and application is repeated on the opposite side. The end of the tint brush is used to take the triangular section for ease and speed. The small triangle in the centre front is worked back away from the face. This application will illuminate the front focal point of the haircut. Begin by applying the product to the mid-lengths of the section, then brush product towards the roots on both sides of the triangle, and then a small amount of product is also brushed into the middle area of the triangle, then out to the mid-lengths and ends. A small sponge is used to support the hair back from the face. Balayage is a freehand painting technique created to give the hair a natural, illuminated effect throughout the haircut. Colour is then developed, removed and toned according to the manufacturer's guidelines. The Lumi Ombrage is a combination of ombre and balayage techniques, designed to create a natural-looking texture combined with a gradual lighter effect on the ends and at the front hairline, to give a contouring, luminous finish. A profile parting is taken from the centre forehead to the centre nape. A radial parting is taken from the top of the crown to the top of the ear on both sides. To create the top sections, a V parting is taken from the centre forehead to the high recession. From the high recession, a diagonal parting is taken to the radial. On the crown, a triangular section with the wide ends towards the radial is taken. From the point of the triangle and to a foil's width, a diagonal parting is taken. Parallel to this, a diagonal is taken to meet the radial to connect with the previous section. This creates a rectangle shape. The perimeter section is divided into 4 parts, using vertical partings for easy application. Starting on the back left-hand side, apply the product to the roots on the radial and hairline and profile parting of this section. Starting at the nape, taking horizontal partings, apply product with an irregular application to create a slight root stretch. Continue this throughout the whole section. Repeat this application working anti-clockwise on all the perimeter sections. The tail comb and tint brush are held together in the same hand for speed and cleanliness of the application. A plastic tail comb is used for client comfort. The rounded plastic edge of the tail comb moves smoothly over the scalp. Starting on the back perimeter left-hand side, take a horizontal parting at the nape and place a clear mesh underneath to support the hair and avoid unnecessary colour contact with the skin. From where the root application ends, a medium colour is now applied to the mid-lengths and out to the ends. Above this section, a horizontal parting is taken. The slice is placed over the previous section and the application is repeated. Apply the medium colour from where the root application ends and out to the mid-lengths. Then the lightest of colours is blushed up from the ends and blushed into the mid-length colour. This method and application of product is repeated until the section is complete at the radial parting. Repeat this application to the remaining perimeter sections, working in an anti-clockwise direction. Tilting the brush on an angle and blushing the colours together where they meet will ensure no hard lines are created. The perimeter sections are isolated with clear mesh. Starting on the back left rectangle, apply the colour to the root area on the entire section. A zigzag parting is taken, and depending on the desired result and hair texture, this will determine the depth of the zigzag. Place a mesh on the underside of the slice. This will support the extension of the product down the hair shaft. Apply the medium colour to the mid-lengths and working back towards the roots to blush the two colours together.